All right, this is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you. I'm here, special episode at the Natural Products Expo West 2022 trade show. It's been a while since I've been to a trade show. Since the last 2 years, they actually canceled the trade show. But I'm here today for a very important topic to share with you guys my favorite juicer. And actually, I'm here at the Tribest booth, the only company here at the trade show with this natural products trade show, sharing with you guys how to process your own foods so that you don't have to use the packaged food products, including juices and everything else that they're selling here. While they do sell the Solo Star 4, the Slow Star, and the Green Star Elite, actually, that's not my favorite product to juice that's here at Tribest. It's actually the vacuum blender. So let's go over to the vacuum blender and I'm going to explain more about why I like the vacuum blender as my favorite Tribest juicer, because you'll extract more nutrients and get a higher yield than any other juicer that they sell. I'll put a link already down below to their flagship juicer, Green Star Elite, compared to the Tribest Dynapro with a nut milk bag. So now you can extract your juice in an oxygen deprived environment. All right, so now I'm gonna share with you guys how I like to juice with the Tribest products, and it's not even using their juicers, it's using the Dynapro Vacuum blender. Now, I have to give props out to a few people in this video right now. Number one, Jay Cordich, the juice man, who literally is responsible for getting me started juicing in my adult life. I mean, I was juicing as a child with my parents because they had an inexpensive juicer, but Jay Cordich got me started with all the benefits of juicing and the power of juicing. So thank you, Jay. And the next person I gotta thank is Tom Dixon. He's the founder of Blend Tech. He's made all those videos on YouTube that have millions of views. Will It Blend series. I know you've seen him blend up iPhones and all these things in the Blend Tech blender. I'm not using a Blend Tech blender today, Tom. Sorry. I'm using the Tribest Dynapro because this is something the Blend Tech blenders do not have. Blending without the oxygen. And you introduced me to blending without the oxygen and then putting it through your very own Blend Tech engineered nut milk bag or juice bag, which is optimal for making juices in a blender. So you put your blended mixture in here, you squeeze it out, and now you have a better tasting juice that has more nutrition and has higher yields than any of the juicers can make. And I went up to Tom to visit him at Blend Tech one day, and I was doing a regular juicer comparison to like a vacuum blended juice, and I'm like, there's no way that vacuum blended juice is gonna taste good. And then I drank the regular juice, I tasted the vacuum blended juice, and I just thought in my head, I'm like, wow, this tastes really good. Then I had second thought, I was like, I've been doing juicing wrong for over 20 years, selling juicers to people, when vacuum juicing is better, in my personal opinion, based on the flavor and the taste, because I've tasted lots of juices, and that juice was specifically straight up celery juice. So now that's why I recommend and share, and the #1 promoter in the world of vacuum juicing. This is a concept that is foreign and new to people. Even vacuum blending is foreign to people. But those of you guys that have trusted me at my word and have gotten this system, I mean, I read a comment this morning from one of my viewers that, John, I brought the Slow Star, I bought, you know, the vacuum blender, and once you get used to squeezing out the bag, it's so easy. The juice is amazing. And that's what I hear, because I'm not trying to fib you guys, I'm just telling like it is, right? And this is why I juice under vacuum as much as I possibly can. Now here's the thing, I'll also tell you guys, not everything can be vacuum juice. If you just try to do straight carrots in the vacuum blender, it's not gonna work. You gotta add some extra liquid in there to make it work. You know, I've demonstrated how you can make vacuum juiced fruits, link down below to that. Straight up 100% vacuum juiced celery, link down below to that. Straight up vegetable juices with a proper balance in the vacuum blender, so you can vacuum juice, link down below to that. Also made my like turmeric ginger shots in the vacuum blender, vacuum juices, link down below to that. Basically, I've made anti-oxidation green juices in the vacuum blender. If you have a properly prepared design recipe, link down below to that. So I'm making all these videos showing you guys how you can vacuum juice so many different items if you have a proper prepared recipe. Now, if you're just following recipes out of a book, I can't guarantee you guys it's gonna work in a vacuum blender, because you're probably not gonna have enough liquid to get it to work. And the other thing I will tell you guys is that the Dynapro is the #1 vacuum blender for vacuum juicing for two primary reasons. Number one, you have a nice fat and wide carafe with a nice fat wide bottom, right? This is critical. A lot of vacuum blenders may have narrow carafes, narrow bottoms. They don't allow the produce to basically get properly pulverized without the oxygen to work properly. In addition, the Dynapro has a few pre-programmed buttons. My favorite button is actually the pulse button. So you press the pulse button once, it'll pulse for 30 seconds automatically, so you don't have to sit there pressing the button in and out. It does it automatically for you guys. So literally you just press the pulse button once and it'll pulse off, pulse off, pulse off. And the pulsing is essential for vacuum juicing because you have a lot of ingredients that are whole that are getting chopped up. So you're gonna see in this recipe, I'm gonna fill the blender up with the grapefruit pieces first, the carrots on top, and as it blends and pulses, the mixture will get ground up, and then all the liquid ingredients will turn into a liquid, and the carrots will get blended in there, so we can have a nice mixture that we can then squeeze out. And then of course you could just press a standard blend button. So I press a pulse button once, a blend button once or twice, depending on your recipe, and that'll run for a minute or a minute and a half total. So 30 seconds on the pulse, 30 seconds or a minute on the blend by pressing 2 or 3 button presses, fully automatic. You take it off, you squeeze it out, you got your fresh made juice that is going to be the highest yield and the highest quality and best tasting. So now I'm all ready and set up to vacuum juice today, and what I'll be juicing today are highly nutritious purple carrots I got from a local farm. I want to encourage you guys to shop locally, and more importantly, if you see purple carrots, buy them. I want you guys to juice purple carrots instead of the orange ones. They are significantly more nutritious, have more phytocarinol and the beneficial properties of the carrots, as well as the anthocyanin or the purple pigment properties, that have been correlated with many health benefits. Now, of course, along with the carrots, because you can't just make straight carrot juice in the Dynapro, not gonna work. I'm gonna combine that with one of my favorite citrus fruits in the entire world. And these, no, they're not oranges, they're not lemons. These are actually called fruas, or more specifically, they're called cocktail grapefruits, and they are in season right now in Southern California. And it's quite sad that outside Southern California, it's very difficult to find these cocktail grapefruits. I know a lot of you guys have had that grapefruits before, and you make that pucker face because it's kind of sour, right? The cocktail grapefruits are the sweetest grapefruits that I've ever tasted. But one of the issues with them is that they have lots of seeds, but that's all right, because we're just gonna blend up the seeds. Like, John, can you blend up grapefruit seeds? Yes, think about grapefruit seed extract. There's people selling grapefruit seed extracts here. It's like an antiviral, antibacterial, and in small amounts, I don't personally have a problem eating it myself. Plus also, the way I'm gonna juice these, it's not just like cutting this in half and putting it on a juice press or a citrus reamer that literally reams out the orange water or just the orange coloring or the grapefruit water, I would call it, as Jay Cordich, the juice man, taught me. We're gonna get all the nutrients from the white pith, and that's actually where the most of the nutrients are. Now, I'm not gonna juice the whole peel, because in the peel there's chemicals that are indigestible, may give you bad gas, bloating, and belching, of course, unless you want that. So I'm gonna show you guys my technique for removing the peel, but keeping as much of the white pith on as possible. Now, aside from the produce and the Tribest Dynapro Vacuum Blender, you will need one other thing to make vacuum juice. You will need nut milk or juice bag, and my favorite one is the Alexa's bags. You can get these at alexasbags.com. They're sold in a 2-pack. Now, the reason why I like Alexa's bags so much is, number one, they're oversized. They're so large, they fit over big bowls. I like to normally use a 2-quart Anchor Hawking glass measuring batter mixing bowl or whatever to extract my juicing. You could, of course, use a large bowl. Today I don't have any of those, so I'm gonna use actually a spare Dynapro carafe container. It still is gonna work, maybe be a little bit more challenging, because you wanna have like a nice fat opening as much as possible so you don't make drips everywhere. But the other reason I like this is because it's like, it has nice rounded corners. There's no drawstring, so like Pulp gets stuck in drawstring. It's very sanitary. Literally, I take this out and hose it down with high pressure water. You can do that in your kitchen sink. Everything dislodges without any scrubbing, so it makes it super simple, super easy. And also you can fit in a large volume of pulp in there so that you can wring it out in one fall swoop. That being said, I normally recommend halving how much you squeeze out, because the less you squeeze out in one pressing, the more efficient it will be to be able to get your hands around it and wring it out. Yes, you're gonna get some hand work, you're gonna get some squeezing work, but this is good. We need to exercise our body instead of getting one of those machines, that you could just has a spring to check, build your grip strength. You can just milk your, juice your vegetables. So the first step is we're gonna go ahead and take our Alexa's bag and just put this in the container that we're gonna juice into. And I like, once again, this is an oversized bag. You can't do this with most bags. You could put this over the complete top here so you could easily pour your mixture in there without any spillage or seepage. The next thing is we got all our carrots prepped because I cut off the tops, cut off the bottoms, but now we have to properly prepare our fruas or cocktail grapefruits. This is super simple, super easy. I like to use ceramic knives, so we're gonna get a nice sharp ceramic knife, and I cut off the top and cut off the bottom, trying to keep as much of the white pith on as possible. And then I'm just gonna come down the side. You could also use something like a vegetable peeler to do this task. This is gonna take me a little bit of time, but I'm just gonna come down the side and just take off only the coloring, leaving as much white pith on as I possibly can. To save you guys some time, I'm gonna do this off camera. We're gonna come back when I got all these peeled. So I got all those grapefruits basically peeled. And now the next step is to load up the vacuum blender. So very important, you gotta load it up properly. If I just cut all the carrots up or put the carrots in whole, it's not gonna work. You always wanna put at least half the carafe full of liquid fruits or watery vegetables. Very important. If you don't do this step, it's not gonna work. Grapefruits and other citrus fruits work great. They're one of the highest water content percentage fruits. I mean, watermelon is another really good one if you want to like do a watermelon vegetable juice mix. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go ahead and take these grapefruits and just cut them up into pieces. The smaller pieces work a little bit better. So maybe we'll cut them up into eighths. And we're just gonna go ahead and dump it in the blender. All right, so I got basically 4 grapefruits and I'm actually a little bit more than halfway, so that's really good. So I'm not gonna use my probably last 2, but I wanna get all the carrots in there, very important. Put the carrots in there, I just like to cut them into rounds, simply and easily, and just dump them in there. All right, now that we got it all filled up, we're just gonna go ahead and put our lid on. You gotta make sure the lid's properly aligned. There's got these little tabs here, so you should line them up with like one of the tabs on top, make sure it goes all the way in. There's a little air nozzle on here, so it's gonna basically be like a vacuum lock, so if you try to just pull this off, it's gonna be hard to pull off. So what you gotta do now is you're gonna go ahead and take the Tribest vacuum pump. This will evacuate all the excess oxygen out of the carafe, even from some of the fruit and whatnot. So just put that on top and press the button. It'll come on, and what you're gonna see is you're gonna see like the little valve, which is like this little valve kind of moving up and down. You guys probably can't see that on the camera. I'm kind of moving it up and down my finger. You're gonna see it moving up and down, and it's gonna do that for probably about a minute or 90 seconds until it evacuates all the excess oxygen. So now we can basically process all our fruits and vegetables in an oxygen deprived environment, thus reducing the oxygen content added or dissolved oxygen. I'll be testing this soon because I got a dissolved oxygen meter actually just about a couple weeks ago. And preserving more nutrition, especially those oxygen-sensitive nutrients such as polyphenols, certain polyphenols, and antioxidant vitamins such as vitamin C, even things like beta-carotene. So once your vacuum pump shuts off, you can go ahead and remove it off the top. Next step is basically 2 button pushes. Actually, I'll do 3 button pushes today. We're gonna hit the pulse button once and then the blend button twice, so that'll run it pulse for 30 seconds. Blend button will run 30 seconds each time, so for a minute, so a minute and a half. Once, 1, 2. Once it's done, it shuts off automatically, and that was a good mixture because you saw, I don't know if I fast forwarded so you could see it like basically pulsed, brought everything in there, then was blending hardcore. And as you guys can see, look at this. This is a nice mixture, retained its nice color, so it's kind of a mixture between like the purple color and the yellow color, which is kind of like a red color, like very little oxygen added. And more importantly, we're gonna go ahead and pull this little tab here. I want you guys to see the difference in the container, so you guys could hear the air rush back in. And now I like to lift this up while I put one hand on this little tab here, one hand on this, lift this up and take it off, and then we have our nice mixture. Man, this stuff smells amazing. It's like, smells mostly like grapefruit. Now we're just gonna maybe put like half of this in at a time into our bag. Now the next step is to simply squeeze out the juice, retaining some of the fiber in the bag. Now I wanna remind you guys, right, when you juice, you keep the soluble fiber. Soluble means it dissolves in water. You're gonna keep the soluble fiber, you're gonna get rid of some of the insoluble fiber. Fiber is important for us. On my plant-based diet, I get so much fiber, I could spare not eating some fiber to get greater uptake, because when you remove some of the fiber, as shown by scientific studies, you get greater uptake of some of the valuable nutrients in the food, all right? So we're just gonna go ahead and, I like to basically twist this off, and we're just gonna go ahead and squeeze. Now, due to the white pith of the grapefruit, this is very pectin rich. So this is gonna make a more thicker juice, or thick juice. I juiced quince like this, and it was so thick, it was insane. So as you guys can see, I just squeezed out the juice right here, and then I have some of the pulp left over in the bag. I want to show you guys what I extracted with the bag. And that definitely took a while due to the consistency of the grapefruit. If you did apples, it wouldn't be that kind of like gloopy. And I know what you're thinking, John, why do you go through the trouble to strain it through the bag when you could have just drank this, and you would only you'd only be drinking this much like extra fiber, which is probably good for you. Well, I'm gonna try to eat this. Like, to me, it tastes like you taste like the rind of like a lemon. Kind of tastes bitter. There's like no sweetness. I've extracted all the richness and the goodness, so this is like literally just fiber left. And here's the thing, when you remove some of the fiber from the smoothie, it changes the flavor sensations on your taste buds. In addition, you're gonna get a faster uptake of some of those nutrients in your body. And to me, like, this doesn't taste good. I'm glad I removed it, so now I can have a more better tasting juice, even though this is not a lot of pulp. And that's the other thing I like about the bags, right? These bag holes are a lot larger than holes that you might find on a Norwalk juicer, so you get more nutrients when using these bags than of standard press cloths that come with even those expensive $2,000 plus hydraulic juicers. Plus, I find that squeezing by hand is quite efficient. If I squeeze this now in the $2,000 juicer, which I've done in the past, I might get an extra ounce of juice, if that. And so I don't want to have to clean the juicer to get 1 extra ounce of juice. I'm just squeezing it with my hands and just make some good juice as it is. So now I'm gonna go ahead and get to try that juice I made. Cocktail grapefruit with purple carrots. Look at that. It's kind of like a thicker juice. It's more like maybe a nectar. I'd call it a nectar versus a juice, just due to the thickness. Now, if I just pressed out the grapefruit juice first on like a citrus press and then blended that with the carrots, this would be a lot more thin. It wouldn't be quite as thick, because all the pith, all the bioflavonoids is what's making this a nice thick juice here to drink. And now I know you're thinking, John, why do you go through the whole process? You could have just ate the grapefruits and chewed on the carrots. I mean, to me, eating a grapefruit is fun, but eating a carrot and chopping on it forever to basically crush it open, and then I wonder, do I really, I mean, I chew my food really well, but most Americans probably take 2 chews and swallow. You're swallowing whole chunks of carrots, so you're not extracting those valuable beta-carotene, anthocyanins out of the purple carrots, and so you're going to get a greater uptake of those nutrients because the blender has now extracted them into the liquid without the oxygen damaging them. I mean, this is kind of advanced stuff. Nobody really talks about this except me, because I'm kind of crazy. All right, so let's drink this stuff. You know what? That's like drinking a smoothie, but it's better because I'm not getting all the grit. Now, here's the thing I'm gonna say. This is quite sweet, but because I blended like in there all the seeds and the white pith, that makes it like less sweet. So I could really appreciate the flavor of this. I'd say overall, we're still tipping on the sweet scale versus like the sour scale, but you get those bitter aftertones, and of course you got the nice coloring and pigments from the carrots. This is definitely one delicious way to drink your purple carrots and get your grapefruits in you, and it's still so rich in all the soluble fiber that went through the bag. And that's pretty much the demo today. You guys learned how you guys could juice carrots when juicing with other fruits, in this case the grapefruits, but you could use oranges, you could use tangerines that are a lot easier to peel. Just peel them, throw them in there. It's gonna be a lot sweeter juice because you're not gonna get as much of the white pith, and of course a lot of tangerines are seedless tangerines. Whether you want to do it with like a lot of cucumbers, another great watery fruit to juice carrots with, you can now juice carrots as well as other fruits and vegetables in the Dynapro. The best way to juice that I'll show you guys, and until I come up with something better, this is the way that I recommend for people that want to make the highest quantity juice and, more importantly, the highest quality juice. Many people are still surprised when I'm recommending this style juicing technique over one of the juicers. Now, yes, one of the juicers that sell easier, you put the produce in, the juice comes out, the pulp comes out, but this, you get a higher quality juice and more yield, and this is especially important for some of you guys where organic produce may be quite expensive or produce is scarce, so you can get every last drop out. And if you guys enjoyed this episode, I encourage you guys to support me and my work by making your purchase at discountjuicers.com. Link is right down below to the video to buy this amazing Tribest Dynapro Vacuum Blender in this red color, which is actually better selling than the gray color. Also link down below to that. And if you guys want to get these Alexa's nut milk bags, you can check them out at alexasbags.com. Link down below to that. Now, Alexa's Bags, I am helping them with their marketing, so they do give me a small commission when you purchase off their website, alexasbags.com. So I appreciate you guys for watching this video, and I appreciate you guys for supporting me by making your purchase at discountjuicers.com, so I can continue to make these videos to share with you guys information you're literally not going to hear anywhere else, so you guys can improve your lives. I really love doing this, and of course, I also had to have my breakfast this morning, so I got to do it and make a video for you guys at the same time. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Helps the YouTube algorithm get this out to more people, and share this video with friends on Facebook, social media, and juicing forums, because vacuum juicing is still relatively unknown. It's a foreign concept to most people, but it shouldn't be. I want to try to make this more mainstream, but it's going to take a lot of your guys' help as well. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss out on my new and upcoming episodes coming out about every 5 to 7 days. You never know where I'll show up or what you'll be learning on my YouTube channel, and make sure you click the little bells to get notified as my new videos come out. And finally, be sure to check my past episodes. My past episodes are a wealth of knowledge, over 600 episodes at this time on this channel, dedicated to comparing and contrasting all the different major juicers, even vacuum blenders, and other appliances that allow you to process more fruits and vegetables so you guys can make the best prepared foods in your home. Also, make sure you check the description down below for other videos I made with the Tribest Dynapro Vacuum Juicing, so that you can see my proper technique for juicing things like leafy greens, celery, fruits, and even just a straight up mixed vegetable juice, even my turmeric ginger shots in the Dynapro, and how you guys could do it successfully too. I'm all about the education, and that's why I make these videos. And I want to thank Tribest for sponsoring me today to make this video here at their booth at the trade show. They're a good company, have excellent customer service. I've met all their customer service reps that are here at this event, and they continue to impress me. So with that, my name is John Kohler with discountjuicers.com. Be sure to visit discountjuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors.